Great. Now, when you open the Photoshop, first thing first, you need the canvas where you can paint. So we're going to create the canvas by hitting the create new. And once I hit this button, the new document will appears over here. First thing first, it's pretty straightforward that what will be the size of the width and the height. Now you have plenty of presets over here. As you can see, you have the saved one, you have the photo, you have the print, you have the art and illustration, web, mobile, so on, so on. I generally go with the art and illustration. So I will switch to the poster or maybe even the postcard. So both are good enough. I'll go with the poster and hit create. Now you don't have to go this all technical things and all these things, so don't worry about that. Just select and hit create, and voila, you are good to go. Now, like I said, my Photoshop going to be look different than yours because I change it. But if I click on this arrow and go to the essential, and this is the first time Photoshop's going to look like. Even I'm going to reset everything. So this is the first time when you open the Photoshop, and this is how it looks going to look. Okay. Now I'm not going to jump into the paintings and all the way. Just going to do a little bit technical stuff because you need to understand how the Photoshop is working on the background. So I will going to the edit and going to the preferences and going to the interface. Okay. Once I come over here, then first thing, you have the color. You can change the theme of the Photoshop. You can keep it white, Macintosh, like, white, or you can keep it black. I generally like black. I'm going to keep it black. And then we have the workspace. Now, if you are working a small monitor, I would recommend you to turn this on, auto collapse icon panel. If I click on this, it will be turned on, and then you can hit OK. Now what it actually do, if I click over here, so for example, if I'm working on this and all of a sudden I click onto the canvas, it will be collapse. So it's actually giving me much space to work on. So again, going to the edit, preferences, and interface, and going to the workspace. And so again, this option is going to be useful for you, auto collapse icon panel. Okay. So I'm going to keep it off because I have enough screen. So I'm going to keep it off right now. Let's go to the tools and make sure the zoom with scroll wheel is turned on. This is really important because by default it's unchecked. You want to make sure that it's checked over here. Once it's checked over here, you can hit OK. And with the scroll wheel, you can zoom in and out. So that's going to be really, really handy. And make sure you have a mouse with 3 buttons. That means you have the left click, you have the right click, and you have the middle click, okay, which is the scroll wheel. So I'm hitting the actually middle mouse. Yeah, middle mouse. Yeah, that's the middle mouse. That is actually also a button. Cool. So once you have over here, let's go to the edit, preferences, and now the preference shortcut key is the Control K. Okay, and you can hit Control K. But I also going to tell you that I already changed some shortcut keys because I like to use the software in my way, because since think like you're working on a desk table. So this is your desk table. So you're going to customize your desk table in your way. So that's what I did over here. Okay, you're going to customize in your way. I'm going to keep it customized in my way. Other can customize in their way. Everyone have their options. Coming back over here to the tools, again, zoom with scroll wheel is important. Keep that turned on. History log, we're going to skip it. We don't need it. File handling, we don't need it. Exports, we don't need it. Now performance is the important thing. This going to depending on your system, the CPU. That's what kind of a system you are using. All right, so okay. So this is your actually RAM. Okay. This is your graphic card, GC. This is your cache, as you can see. And this is going to be optimization. Okay. So basically what's going to happen over here is that this is my available RAM over here. Okay, so I'm using 128 gig RAM. Okay, so I have 128 gig RAM that I'm using over here. Okay, now Photoshop will be using 70% from 128 gig RAM. Okay, and rest of them, that means this part, will be using by the Google Chrome and Windows application, and rest of the software will be using only the rest of them. So 30%. Okay, 30% will be computer using. So here's the deal. So Photoshop is using 70% and computer is using 30%. Here's the deal. Now, if you think that you are working a lot of with the Google Chrome side by side and playing music, so you might want to keep it Photoshop in 50% and give the computer around 50%. So both are 50-50. Depending, you need to check actually. So if you're working a lot out of the Photoshop, like you're playing Google Chrome, playing music, playing videos, so you might want to consider to give this RAM to the computer around 50%. Or if you're working, a lot of with the Photoshop, so keep it around 70%, which is, I think, is good enough. By default, you will get, I think, 65 or 60%, but you can decide which is comfortable for you. So again, it's up to you which you like the most. So again, keep the, if you're again using a lot of Photoshop, then you want to keep it 70%. If you're less using Photoshop and side by side using a lot of application, keep the 50%. Okay. Now, graphic processor settings, this will be depending on your graphic card. I'm using right now 1080 Ti graphic card, which is heavy graphic card, but now it's a lot of new graphic cards came out, 3080 and 3090, so it's good. But this will be, you're going to check this depending on if you have a graphic card on your system. If not, still you will be using your CPU graphic card. Okay, CPU graphic card also provide that, so you will be using that. So you see that if it's turn on, great. If not, you can turn this on by manually. Okay, so that means you will be using CPU graphic card. Now, the undo level in Photoshop gives you the 20%. Okay, so it comes by 20. You can give this value 1000, which I already given. So that means you can undo 1000 times. So you can increase this value. So by default, actually, it's give you the value of I think 20 like this. Oops, Control K. Back again, and let's go to the performance. So it's 20 right now, but I generally click over here and drag it all the way to 1000 because I do a lot of undos. Okay, I do a lot of mistakes as always. So you want to keep it around 1000. Now, here's the biggest point that you will be working. Are you working on the web-based application? Are you working on the photos, or are you working with the huge pixel dimension? Now, since we are making concept and sketching, we need a lot of pixels over here because we are talking about the quality. So I generally work with the huge pixel dimension, but it's going to decrease my performance as well. If I'm going over here, it's going to decrease the performance. So again, it will be depending on you. These settings which I'm giving to you, you don't have to go exactly because you need to play them and check them that your system is, giving you the performance as well, because performance is important right now. So if you feel that your system is getting slow, you can switch to the default or maybe the web. But I generally go with the huge pixel dimension because if I click over here, you will see that these numbers will change. So if I click over here, see that now it's become 4. If I click over here, it becomes 6. So numbers keep changing. All right. So rest of the things, keep it same. You don't have to change it anything. Let's delete this one. Let's come over here. Now the second one is the scratch disk, and it's going to take a little bit time to load up because of the hard disk. It's going to take a little bit time. Okay, there we go. All right, so we have this hard disk over here, and what I did that by default, whatever you have backups and autosave files, it always go into the C drive, which you don't want that. So pick the drive that is empty enough. So for example, I pick S and R, and you just click on the check. For example, if I select D, I click over here and uncheck from the C because I don't want it. My backup drive will be my C because it can be full a lot of data because Photoshop don't sleep, get up. All right, so it can be full with the lot of data over here. Okay, so you want to make sure that you don't full the C drive. So I'm going to turn this off. Yeah, drink plenty of water. And there we go. So I'm going to uncheck right now. So don't worry, it's just a little bit technical. Once we've done that, then we will go for the sketching. Okay, now I'm going to switch to the cursor, and these cursor are optional. Generally, you will get the standard or sorry, precise or maybe the normal brush with the show crosshair. Generally, what exactly it means, if I turn it on, if it gives you the plus sign over here. With this plus sign, it will tell you that this is your center point. So I generally like this. So you can keep it turning on. You can turn on the full size if you want. You can go to the normal size. It's up to you. Customize it in your way. Okay. Rest, you don't want to change anything until it needs it. But just keep it safe. Okay. Yeah. So once it's done, then you can hit OK, and there we go. Okay. So the shortcut key for the preferences is Control K, and again, there we go. You have it. Okay. Now this done. Now it's time for the customization for the Photoshop. Obviously, I will be using a lot of layers, so I'll take my layers. So if I click and hold and drag it to the left, you can dock. That is called docking. So I'm docking over here. As you can see, this blue line, it comes over here and it gives me this whole list. And that's what I wanted. I need a whole list for the layers because I will be working with the layers a lot. So I can take this path over here as well and make it a group. So if I drag this and drop it over here onto this empty area, I can make a gob. Get up, get up, get up. Don't sleep. So you need to make sure you have the layer and the path. You have this both over here. Okay. So you have the layers and the path. So now I have a group. I can even take this channel and drop it over here. There we go. Now we have 3 combos over here. I will be using the properties a lot, so I will drag it, but I want to create a separate group. So rather than dropping like this, as you can see, this whole area is blue. I can just drag it a little bit more and drop it over here. And boom, I have this property bar over here. So we have this property bar over here and the layer bar on bottom. So we have these 2 parts over here. Now, generally, I don't like libraries, so I'll just right click and close. Boom, it's gone. Yes, bye bye, paka paka. So how are we going to bring it? If in case I need it back, how are we going to bring it back? So you can go to the Windows and come to the library, and you will see this library section. Just click, ta-da, it's back, right? And you can even close it and to close it like that. Now there's another way that you can make it something like this. For example, if I take this color and drop on this blue line. Now I have these 2 sections, but it's taking a lot of space, and that's what I don't want it. So what I'm going to do is click on this double arrow icon, and boom, it collapses. Okay, so it just collapsed over here like this, and you can drag it like this so it gives you the naming, or you can drag it like this so it just gives you the icon. And once you click over here, ta-da, it's give you the color over here. And then you can just click outside so that you're going to collapse like that. Okay. Once you're done, let's say I'll take the color, and then I just paint it over here with the brush. Let's take the brush and paint it like that. Work is done. It's collapsed. Ta-da. So you just click, change the color like this one and paint. And when you don't need it, just click over here, collapse. There you go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay. So Let's hit Control Z. Control Z is going to be for undo. So I'll just going to undo everything. Now, once you're done with the workspace, you can save your workspace by going over here, because next time when you open the Photoshop, you could accidentally click on the Reset Essential, but you want to save your workspace. So in order to save it, you need to click on the new workspace, and you need to click on the keyboard shortcut, menus, and toolbar. Okay, buzz that off. So keyboard shortcuts, menus, and toolbar. Then you just give the name, for example, what you like to call, anything you can name it. Name it. Okay, I'll just name it. There we go. So I'll just give the name it. So once you hit the name it, and then you can hit save, and there we go, it's saved. Now, if I already have done it, if I go over here, I'm just going to reset. I already have the digital workspace, new workspace, or even the test, which I'll always keep testing. So I'm just going to switch to the digital, and there we go. So technical part is done. The last technical part is the last. There's a one last. Okay, don't take the breath away. Take your breath inside again. Okay, so all right. So the last technical part is going to be shortcuts, which I already customize it. I want to tell you this because I will be using these shortcuts. So you need to go to the edit and the keyboard shortcuts over here. Once you click over here, you get this whole big menu over here. But the first menu, which I change it, is the application menu. Go to File and Save As. I like this. Now, generally, it gives me the Control Shift S, but I'm going to give Control S because I don't like to save the file over and over again. I like to save in a separate file. So for example, if I do a little bit sketching, I'm going to save that file. I'm going to do a coloring onto it. I'm going to save that file, a separate file, and then separate file, and then separate file, and then separate file. It gives me the backups. So in case if I want to go to the sketching, I still have a backup. And don't worry, you will see, I will be showing you that. Okay, so you will be understanding that part. But like I said, I'll be doing Save As by Control S. Then if I go to the tools, since I'm using the tablet over here and you're also using the tablet, I would advise you to keep your brush size, decrease brush size Q and increase brush size W. Why I did that? Because my left hand is on Q and W, just like you're playing a game, right? Left hand is on, like for example, your character goes forward by, yes, exactly. So your character is moving forward, W. Your character is going backward, S. Your character is going right, D, A. And you got my point. So left hand is going to be busy a lot with the W, S, A, D, Q, X, Z, C, and all these keys. The right hand will be using by the pen tablet and the mouse. So you will be switching like that. So basically my left hand is busy with the keyboard, right hand is busy with the pen tablet and the mouse. Okay, now the default key over here is the bracket keys and bracket close, but I switch it to Q and W. Okay, and another key, I'm going to be picking a lot of colors. So the default, it doesn't have any key over here, but I gave the key A. So A for the color picker, foreground color picker. Okay, and don't worry, you have, even if you forget everything, don't worry, everything is recorded. You can voice that later again. Okay, there we go. So once we have done it, let's hit OK and good to go. Now, here's the fun part. First, of course, we need some brushes. And of course, now I won't be going technical right now, but yes, I like to create my kind of a canvas over here. So you can see I'm working on a canvas. Now, Photoshop has the powerful things that we can use. And that first thing is the layers. Layers gives you the advantage that you can do, give you the freedom to do flexibilities over here. So what I mean by that, let me show you. This is my layer panel. If it's not visible, you can go to the windows and go to the layers. And now this is my first layer, which is the background, and it's locked right now. Whatever I draw, it's fixed. I don't want that. I want a little bit flexibility. So I want a separate layer. how we can create a new layer. We can just click on this icon, this plus icon, and click. Ta-da! We have a layer 1. Okay, and then I'm going to hit B for brush. B for bat, B for brush. So hit B and you get the brush. Okay. Once you have that, I'm going to increase the opacity and turn this off. I'm going to explain all these things in a minute, but make sure you have selected the layer. See that I have selected this layer. If I select this one, it's selected. This one, it's selected. So I have the selected layer and I will pick any kind of a brush. Don't worry, I will be explaining like this. And then you can start drawing. Okay. If I hit W, now I'm increasing the brush size over here. I'm tapping the W and increasing the brush size. And if I hit the Q, I can decrease the brush size. Okay. If I hit the A, I can change the color. So by default, it's going to look like this. And I'm going to pick something like any kind of a color. Let's pick something like orange and hit OK. And you can brush it like that. Ta-da, like that. See? Now the advantage of this is you can turn on and off if you don't like it. You can delete, just drag and drop it into the dustbin. Okay. Or you can just hide it, or you can even erase it. You can do anything with this layer. Okay. It's completely up to you what you wanted. So I'm going to delete right now because we need a certain background, because I don't like this white. It's kind of a catchy to the eyes. So for what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a solid. Now these are all kind of a layers, but we need to focus on this one right now, this kind of a black and white icon. Just click over here, click on the solid color, and it will give you the solid color that you want. I'm going to pick some kind of a dark gray like this and hit OK. Okay. Now we don't need any more background. We can just double click and hit OK. Then it will become a regular layer. That means we can delete now, because before that it was locked. I can't even delete this because it's locked over here. I need to double click and unlock it and then delete. It's gone. Now this is my background layer. Now I cannot delete this one because Photoshop always have one layer. That is important. No matter what, you always have a one layer. Okay, that is the key essential thing. So now I have this background layer. I can create and I can put in a group. So how I can do that? If I hit the Control G, so G for goat, meh, so like that. So Control G and hit a group. Okay, so now it's in the group. As you can see, it's more like a folder for you. Just double click over here and say background. Right, so now we have this background. You can even color code something like that. So if you just right click and give the red color, so it becomes red. So now these are the red layers. Okay. Let's create another new layer. Let's click over here and it gives you another layer, and hit Control G again. And I'm going to name it, let's say sketch. Ta-da, we have a sketch. Okay. And now I selected this layer. That means I can draw over here. Okay. And we have a plenty of brushes over here. You will be seeing a lot of brushes. Some of them I downloaded from the internet. Some of them I downloaded. I make them my own. Some of them you will find from the Photoshop. You will get a lot of brushes over here. How I get this panel? By going to the Windows and brushes, and you will get a lot of brushes. Okay. You also have brush settings. So if you go to the brush setting, you will get this brush setting over here, this one, and you have a plenty of settings over here. We're not going to discuss about this right now. It's too technical. Okay, but I just want you to know it's there. You also have something called tool presets. These tool presets we will be using a lot because it gives you the startup. And it has something called Kyle Unlimited Brush Panel. And these are actually the tools which I loaded. And how you can load it. We're actually not going to use the brush right now. We're actually using the tool preset. So I am in the brush, and when you open it, you will see this list empty because you need to load a tool preset, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to click over here and click on something import. Where is it? Yeah, load tool preset. This one is important. So I'm going to click on load tool preset. Now, in case if you miss anything, again, there's full recording. You can watch it again. Or if you get confused, don't worry. I will be explaining it again if you want it. Okay. But I will be giving you these presets over here. And once you select them, click on load and these all presets will appear. Okay. Now, what is the difference between brush and tool preset? The difference is if you click on a brush, for example, if I take this brush, okay, this is a hair brush. If you click, there you go. Now you have hairs. Okay, so it's just a brush that comes with the color that you can select any kind of a color and just click over here. There you go, right? Wait, Alexa, stop. Always disturbing me. So hit Control Z. But you can change the color, you can change the opacity, you can change the flow. You need to do it manually when you select a brush, right? But a tool preset allows you to, if I click over here and notice my flow become changed like 82%. If I click on this one, it become 86% and notice my color has been changed. That means it has saved all the information what I selected the color, what I made some changes into my brushes, everything is saved into this. But this is my only brush tip. Imagine that you have a pencil and this pencil have a tip over here. Okay, so the tip of the pencil over here. So for example, if I click over here, this is my brush tip. Again, if I keep clicking, it's just doing over here. You can see I have an illustration now. See how many hairs I have. Ta-da. And this is just by the brush. You just click over here, you have this hairs now. Okay, so you can do this by the brush tip, but the tool preset have all the information, the color, the value, the flow, the opacity, everything is containing over here. Okay, simple as that. Again, don't go technically. We will be covering all those parts a little bit later. But right now you just need to load this tool preset. And I'm going to pick something like inking thick. Let's try that, or maybe oil color. So let me show you what you have like red marker. If you start drawing like this, you can see it's kind of a red marker. You can see it's kind of a ball pen. You can see it's like a 2B pencil. Select anything that you like. And you can even add some noise. I have a plenty of them like this one. And let's try something like pencil 4H. Charcoal, you have some charcoals over here, and you can change the color. Obviously you can change it to black because you have also the flexibility that you can change the color. And like this one I changed like Chucky nuts, or maybe oil like this one. You can see it's kind of oil color, oil flat color. You have a plenty of brushes over here. So this is the beauty of that. You can now customize it and use anything. So you don't need to use a pencil and paper like you regularly use, but now you have something more than that. And that's what we're going to do it. Okay. Now I'll give you one more advantage. If you like very vintage style, like very old style, I generally love that old style, vintage style. So I'm going to come over here into the Google and just type something like vintage paper. Okay, let's find a vintage paper, and it's actually a vintage paper. And I'll go to the tools, go to the size, and click on large. We need large size of papers like these ones. Like for example, this one. Look at this paper. It's old, vintage, rusty. I want this paper, so what I'm going to do is right-click and copy. So just copy image. Come to the Photoshop, go to the background, select the solid color and hit Control V. So I'm going to hit Control V, V for victory. Just hit Control V and ta-da, you have this image over here. Hit Control T for tiger and hold down Alt and drag it all the way to up like that. Hit Enter. Ta-da, you have a vintage paper over here. That means whatever I will be drawing over here, it will be onto the vintage paper. Okay. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to create, we're going to select this one. And in fact, you can select this vintage paper and bring down the opacity. opacity is like transparency, like a glass, you can see through it, right? So if I give the value around 50%, so you can see it's more like a dimmer paper. It's not kind of affecting to your eyes. It's going to be useful for you. Okay, so I'm going to select to the sketch and pick something like a ball pen, and now we can start drawing over here. Okay, so I'm going to grab a size, a little bit bigger size for my brush. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger. That's good. And let me take the reference. There we go. Just setting up my reference over here. There we go. All right, so we're going to start with a fish now, and it's very easy. You just start doing like that. Okay, now here's the fun part. If it's too big, that's completely fine. You can small it again, which I'll show you in a minute. And don't draw it like this. Okay, don't draw it like this. This is the biggest mistake, that they draw it like this and this and this. Never do that. You want to go something called chicken scratch. Yeah, it sounds funny, but this is called chicken scratch, that you draw a line, then draw another line. Yeah, you can watch your chickens how they are scratching. That's how they're going to do. Seriously, you can just scratch them, you know. So technically what it means, that you just draw a single line, and then I'll just zoom in. I'm going to hold down Z for zoom, and just drag this over here so you can zoom it like that. Okay, and notice I have a line over here, and then I draw it again and again and again and again. If I'm drawing like this, you can see it's very difficult, because it's really difficult to keep a straw line, right? You can see how the bumps over there. But if I draw a chicken scratch like this, and like this, you just keep doing it basically. Okay, so that is the main functionality over here. Just draw it like this, like this, like this. Keep it straight. Okay, so that's how you can draw a straight line over here, like that. And you can see the difference. There's some kind of a bumpiness over here. There's a bumpiness over there. And over here, it's completely a straight line, right? So that's what you want it. You want the chicken scratch over here, kind of a scratching the line over here. That's how you do it. So I'm going to hit Control-0, and it's going to be fit on screen. Okay, then hit Control-A to select everything and hit delete. Okay, now this is called marching ants. These are the marching ants, which are ants are moving like this. Okay, so if you see in the corner, I'm holding down the space bar, and with the scroll wheel, I'm just zooming in, and you can see this is the marching ants. Okay, if you want to deselect this, hit Control D. Okay, so deselecting by hitting Control D. Hit Control-0 to fit on the screen, and then we can go ahead. Okay, so again, remember this technique called chicken scratch. Just keep drawing the lines like this, and I'm going to hit Control-Z to undo, and there we go. Okay, great. Now we will continue with this, and both way, but chicken draw lines is more alive. Yeah, chicken draw is going to be a really useful for you. Definitely, it's going to be really useful. That's for sure. You might want to watch this video over and over again in order to understand everything. Okay. Full of life. Okay. That's good. So it's going to be useful, but it requires a little bit practice. Now, this technique which I'm showing you, it doesn't apply only in Photoshop. It can be applied anywhere. Even if you're using the pen tablet, great. If not, if you're still using with the pencil, completely fine. Okay with that. Okay. Now coming back over here again. Now here's the fun part. If you hit the F means full. And you can see it becomes a full screen. You can hit F again. Ta-da, a complete full screen. No more layers, no more everything is gone. You can hit F again, back again to the default. Or you can hit Tab, the Tab key, which is above the caps lock, and you can hit the tab key and you can just open it like that. It's easy to do like this, you know, hit the F key and hit the tab key like that, or you can hit the F key, whatever comfortable for you. Hit the F, whatever is good. Not the F12. F12 is totally different. Okay, not the F12. F12 is function key. That is function key, which we're going to talk about. I hit the F, only F, F. Okay, so watch these new numbers over here, this word over here. So F, 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 and again F. Okay, F-U-C-K. Just kidding. Okay, so let's come over here and start drawing. And again, I'm using the chicken scratch over here. I'm going to play the little bit music over here as well, because I'd like to work with the music. And don't worry, I will be giving you this music playlist as well. Okay. Yeah. You can dance if you want. And there we go.
Now connected to Zia laptop.
Finally, it's been connected. All right, back on track, drawing the fish. So again, I'm not drawing the fish. I'm drawing an eggplant over here. I'm not drawing the fish. I'm drawing the eggplant. Okay, think in your mind a eggplant, not the fish. This is important. If you're drawing the fish, you're not drawing the fish. It sounds crazy, but it sounds crazy. So just draw the eggplant. And that's what we wanted over here. It's an illustration, basically. We're just focusing on the drawing, illustration, make it more creative like that. Okay. And that's what we wanted. So let me give you this music as well. Yeah, just like a water drop. I'm quite giving a water drop over here. And this gives something like kind of a good. That's the music I gave you. And there we go. So now think this water is not 2D. It's not a 2-dimension. Okay. You can imagine it's a simple shape. It's like looking, oh, that's a 2-dimension shape because we have the x-axis and the y-axis, right? But if you just look carefully over here, it looks rounded. Yeah, it's 3D. That is the main thing over here. It's a 3D part. Okay, I'm going to use the eraser. The high opacity. I will be explaining eraser as well in a moment, but let's just erase this for a moment. Okay, so think that it's like a 3D. It has some kind of a 3-dimension going on. That is the structure of this water drop. Okay, so you can see it looks like it's not 2D anymore. It has some roundity. It has some kind of a curvature. It's kind of a insect coming to your ways like that. Okay, so yeah, railways, ways, and that's what we wanted. That's what we are actually looking for this fish over here because it's 3D. So I'm just going to erase this, and you can hit E for eraser. Just hit E and you can start erasing them like that. There we go. You can just erase them like that. And for the eraser, again, you have these tool preset, or you can go to the brush and you have plenty of brushes over here. Pick any brushes that you like. Just start erasing them. I would encourage you to do some experiment, and whatever you like, just pick a one. I'll just pick this one eraser right now and just start erasing. There we go. Okay. Hit B for brush, and now we are in the eraser. Okay. Oh, sorry, brush. And now we're going to draw the eye and the face. Now, how are we going to draw the eye and the face? How are we going to understand where the eye should be? Yeah, but where it should be. The placement is important. It could be over here, it could be over there, it could be, it's going to look like an alien. So the placement is very important. In order to do that, we're going to use something called construction. So I'm going to draw some lines like I did before, like this. Okay. And then I might going to draw another line. So I'm going to pick a point over here. So that's my point, and give a structure. Think if you're drawing something in 3D, you need to give some kind of a structure onto it. So this is called structure, and this will comes with the practice. How you see things is important. How you draw them is important. And what I'm doing over here is right now just watching the structure over here, the outside. Think like I have a wireframe, a mesh. Bones are different. Bones are different. It's like, for example, let me show you 3D wireframe. Let's say 3D wireframe. So if you're familiar a little bit with the 3D wireframe, but you can see them, these wireframes over here. Look at this wireframe. These are the wires. Yes, this is just only wires, and this wires define how the structure for the face, you know. Only with the wires you can see how the 3D form looks like, and that's how you can do it. Look at this. This is the wireframe of the structure. You can even see for like fish 3D wireframe and start understanding how the, look at this. By these wires you can draw the construction. This is a trick to understand how the form should look like, or kind of a rounded like that. This is a hack that you can do that. So it's actually a good hack. So I'm going to draw a wireframe onto this image like that. Okay, like this. Just to understanding how this, it's looking like that. Okay, there we go. So once we have this wireframe over here, now we can see it. Now remember that 2D, wireframe, 3D. So we did the 2D, now we are drawing the wireframe. So we're doing the same over here. And let's say this is the mouth. So I'm going to draw a mouth over here like that. Okay, so it just gives me an idea. Then the mouth can fit over here like that. Okay, so I'm just giving an idea. And let's say the eye should be over here. Now it's going to look like a kind of a funky kind of a shape, but that's work for me. Okay, for right now. And the gills will be over here. Now I'm kind of placing them wherever I want, where I feel comfortable. You can place them wherever you like. It's completely up to you, but draw them like that. Let's draw the another eye, which is quite coming out like this, right? And you have first eye over here, quite like that, right? So it start looking something that it's something cute, and that's what we want. If you're more kind of a big and rounded, it becomes cute, and that's what I wanted. It looks cute over here. Positive fish, exactly. That's why I'm the Pisces. Pisces is more like a positive. So let's draw the fins. And how are we going to draw the fin? So we're going to draw a simple shape, kind of a, yeah, kind of a, imagine that you are drawing a shape like this or like that. You can draw it like that, even if it's comfortable for you. But I'm going to draw it something like, just again doing the chicken scratch over here, just imagining that. Now I want you to draw them loose as much as possible. Okay, don't think too much. Even if you're going crazy, that's completely fine. That's the beauty of the Photoshop, which I'm going to show you. Just keep doing the blocking over here like that, and just draw your concept. Go wild, go freely like that. If you feel comfortable, that go crazy on this, and you can draw it like that. No. And there we go, like this, and like this. I'm just making the same. Yeah, just do some fantasy over here and just go wild and pick any kind of a shape that you like. Look at this. I'm drawing even over here. I'm drawing like a crazy person, kind of a like that. I'm just wibbling and quite doing kind of a doodling over here. That's the beauty of this. Pick any kind of a shape that comes out. Okay, you want to fill the gaps. When you start filling the gaps, you start seeing the shapes, just like you're watching the clouds and you start seeing the shapes. That's what we are doing over here. We're just filling the gaps over here. Don't try to achieve that it has to be specifically like that, but try to go crazy and wild onto it. And I will just keep customizing it until I feel happy with the shapes. And I'm going to keep the eye a little bit more bigger, or even make it more cuter like this. Okay, and make it the mouth more better, maybe a little bit more like that. Okay, and like this. And maybe I can add a little bit, make fins a little bit bigger over here. And maybe I can make this fin more kind of a bigger and better. I'm kind of creating a fluffy kind of a koi fish over here. Yeah, more like a fluffy koi fish. Okay, now I'm not going to fill the colors over here, but I'm just giving you the example of how to create an illustration, because that's we want it over here. We want to go keep it loose, not in the tight, and like that. Now, if it's too big, you think the image is too big, you can hit Control T and hold down Alt. Just drag from the corner and make it a little bit smaller and make it move it over here. Hit Enter, and now we're back in track. Let's hit Tab so we can remove all the clutter and start seeing the shapes, so that we can just quite coming out like that. I'm going to erase this part over here. Hit the Tab key and let me go to the eraser, and let me turn off this because of this, and erase it like that. I'm going to pick a good eraser. Again, you can pick any brushes that you want. I'm going to pick my favorite brushes, which is the simple hard round, and hitting W, just erasing this part over here like that. Hit the B key, and again just keep drawing like that. Okay, and there we go, like this, like this, maybe a little bit like that. I think sometimes your microphone works. I can hear the little bit sound. Sometimes it do works. Magic. That's great. Now it's work. Oh, okay, it was working just a few seconds again. I don't know how it worked, but it works. So there's I think it could be the earphones, earplugs, I guess. Maybe need to check that. Maybe. Maybe you should try some new headphones. Maybe the drivers, or maybe the try the headphones, new headphones, or maybe you can borrow someone the headphones just to check, in order to see is the problem onto the headphones or is it the problem to the driver. And this way you can find the problem. That's a good idea. I know. I know what you're saying right now. Max, you're so awesome. I know that. So I will be doing the translation over here. And one day I fix. Yeah, I'll be waiting for that day. So let's keep it continue. Keep just doing the illustration like that. And I'm just going to hold down Z and zoom in. So I'm holding down Z, and you can take your brush, move it up and down so you can zoom in out. I'm holding down Z, I didn't let it go. Once I let it go, I will be coming back to the brush again. And if you hit the tab key Z, then you can are in the zoom in and out. Then you have head to the tab again to the brush. But right now, if you want to move, hold down space bar to pan like this. So this is the hand tool. You can move it like that. Now I'm holding down space bar, and once I let it go, then it comes to the brush again. So let's draw the eye. And zoom out. Don't zoom in a lot. Hit Control 0 to fit on screen. If you're zooming a lot, it will be harder to see the outside of the detail. No, it's just a doodle. But here's the trick. This is your base. This is not a final image. If I hit the V key, V is for the move tool. Now this is the move tool where we can move anywhere where we want. Hit the Control Z to move it back. This is my layer 1. And now I can bring the opacity around 30%. Okay. As you can see, it's quite looking like a printed image, right? You can see over here, right? See that? Again, this is 100. And I'm going to bring the value around 30. Yeah, like this. This is the opacity. So opacity looks like an transparency. It's transparent. Okay, you can see through the color. Okay, it's look like a watercolor now that has been dried over here. Max, you're awesome. I can translate what you're thinking right now. Max, you're so cool. Yes, exactly. Look like a transparent paper or like a watercolors that you paint onto the paper and the color gets dry with the water. So that's how it start looking like this. But we're going to use as a base now. I'm going to create another new layer. So if I click over here, I just created a new layer. Now this layer has 30% opacity and this layer has 100% opacity. Okay, over here, as you can see, this part. This is the 100. If I click over here, this is the 30. So I'm going to click on this layer 3 and B for brush. And now I'm going to start cleaning my lines. Okay, so because that was the rough lines, I can start now cleaning. It's more like a tracing. You're tracing your own artwork now. So for example, if I zoom in a little bit and start cleaning the lines like that. Now I can draw in more detail. Now I will be start drawing into the detail actually like that. As you can see like that. And you don't have to trace 100%. Where you feel comfortable, just draw them because you are now refining, cleaning up the image, and that's what we wanted. We're going to draw even more into details like that. Keep eating like that. Yes, there we go. Hungry. And there we go. Yeah, it's So much sweet. I miss sweet. Don't eat in front of me at least. It's been a long time I didn't take my sweet. Right now I'm taking protein shake right now. This is the protein shake. But protein shakers are also sweet. I mean, they taste sweet. Yeah. In fact, I posted the picture on what it says, VK, Kantak. I posted a picture on Kantak about all my protein pictures. Yeah, it's over there. So we just keep adding the lip area. Kind of a looking kind of a blobby lips over here. Like that. And then the eye. Yeah, you can say it's for a month or 2 months. I'll be taking, I guess, 6 months. And depending on the intensity, if I'm working too hard, then I need the supplement. If I'm working less, then I don't need that much. Every per day, depending on the intensity, how much I do. So for example, today I work out for 2 hours, 1 hour for upper body, 1 hour for lower body, and then I need the double the supplement. Again, how much you work depends. Now in this scenario, I will put some music and start drawing into the details like that. You can even draw with me like that. And just start fill the colors. Yeah, I can see that. So I can start filling like this. That's cool. There you go. And when I'm filling the colors like this, I'm just, you can see that how I'm filling the colors. I will just take my brush, start filling like this, like this, like this, like this. So we will not putting any kind of a gap over there. Like that. There we go. As you can see, it's the eyes kind of a popping out now. And the gills. Okay, so I'm going to draw two gills over here. And the hands. There we go. What is that? It looks like a book. Sharpener. Ah, professional, huh? I just generally use blade. Simple as that. And there we go. Going to add the black levels. I'm going to increase the brush size and start filling like this, colors like this. There we go. Then I can put some cuts. I can even add some bubbles over here, so we can make it more realistic. Yeah. And I'm going to take out its mustache from over here and make it very, very long. So you can see once I have the construction, once I have the base, I can customize it in my way. All you need is the construction and the base, then you have everything. I'm going to open like that. And now we can erase this. Because the mustache is coming in between. That. Maybe the another one. Maybe it's too long. And again, erasing this part. See that? Can give the upper layer detail. Not going into too much detail, just giving overall detail. Like that. I'm gonna hit Control Z. Maybe a little bit cuts. That. And just giving some spikes look over here. Like that. kind of creating a blend. Then the inner shape. Black color. Don't erase anything. Try to avoid erasing. If there is wrong, just leave it. Just leave it. It looks good. Trust me. Let the mistakes happen. Don't hide the mistakes. Because sometimes mistakes actually make your artwork more better. So try to avoid mistakes. I know it's just a habit. It's a bad habit, I would say. Try to avoid this bad habit. So let the mistakes happen. Make your artwork more beautiful with the mistakes actually. I'm going to add more lines into here just to show that it's transparent. Like that. I'm going to give you this reference as well, and you can start working on this one. Let's erase this one. I'm going to create a shape, inner shape. Like this, more like a fire shape. And the final part is the tail. There we go. And let's draw this line to connect. Now here's the fun part. If you hold down R for Raman, you can rotate like this. See this? You can even rotate the canvas like this. So if I want to rotate the canvas like this and let it go the R and just draw it like that. So you hold down R and rotate it like this. Now what if I say you want to go back to the default, hit the tab key and hit the R key and you get this reset view. Just click over here and the view has been reset. So again, hold down R, rotate. You want to reset, go to the reset view, hit the reset view. There you go. Or you can just rotate it like this. If you want, you can specifically type degree over here, like 50 degree. I want to rotate like that. Or you can just hit, let's see it again. I'm going to hold down R, hit the B key. hold on R, hit the tab key, reset view, and hit the P, give some tails on the back, very small but very long. Okay. Again, drawing some texture of the skin. It's making it a little bit more dark over here, more contrast. Just pop outs. You can see it takes a little bit of time. Just put some music and just enjoy it, relax. Go with the flow, go with the nature. You're flying in the air. And then you can put some music. I believe I can fly. Yeah. But don't start fly away. Who's going to do your work, obviously. There we go. Here's some texture out of the fence. Just creating some details. Now I can delete or remove, or I can do anything with this layer. I can just turn off if I just wanted to see how it's actually start looking. And if I turn on this, you can get something like this. Now here's what you wanted. It's up to you. Can again just zoom in and start adding some little bit fine detail, just making my brush small and just adding some fine details over here like that, and just a little bit over here, the texture, and just make this eye will be more black. Just erasing this a little bit. There we go, as you can see. Now I'm going to create another layer and take this layer, just click and drag all the way below over here. Okay, because this layer is going to be more like a background. Okay, and then I'll just take again the brush size a little bit bigger. I can even take another brush. Maybe let's try some different brushes. Let's try some oil lush, and I can draw it like that. Maybe even try oil detail brush. I'm going to try some different chunky charcoal. Let's try that. Or maybe oil thicker. Just play and find a good brush that you like. Let's try rough ink, thick, chisel 25. What's this? Let's see. It's too. I'm looking for kind of a creative kind of watercolor. Let's try that. Yeah, this looks good. But I lost the color. I'm going to hit A and pick the color and make it even more saturated like that. And there we go. That's what I was looking for. To draw some kind of a wiggly lines like that. There's kind of a plants beside. Okay. I'm just going to erase this part. Like that. You can even draw it like this crazy if you want, and after that you can start erasing them because it's below the layer. So we can erase this part like that. There we go. Quite amazing. That's what we wanted. Perfect. Ta-da! And now you can give a signature of your artwork over here, like today is 12/20/2020. Oops. X3. Or maybe Roman. Or maybe Winnie. You can pick. I had got 3 names, so whatever you like to call. Anyhow, this is just for fun. There we go. Ta-da! So we have this artwork over here, the fish, the koi fish, and it's good to go for the post. Now you can save it by going to the file, save as, and now you can save as a PSD. So this is for the Photoshop format, and this is for the JPEG. I generally, when I'm posting over here online, I go with the JPEG and give it a name, something like koi fish. Hit enter, and this menu will pop up, and this is the quality, or it's more like a compression for the image. Make sure it's on the large file. Keep it in that. It's kind of a 13 megabyte, which is good enough. Hit OK, and you are good to go. That's it. Once you've done that, go again, file, save as, and save as a PSD this time. So make sure it's a PSD. Select this and hit koi fish, and I'm going to save it on the right document. Let's go to the, where is it? New batch. And the, yeah, this drive. I got a lot of drives. I know that sometimes it's really confusing which one is which. I know, but I'm gonna use to it now. There we go. Done.